There's something magnetic about mountains. They rise out of the earth like monuments to time, silent, vast, and untamed. And for many, standing on a summit feels like standing on the edge of the world. But here's the thing, you don't have to be a professional mountaineer to feel that thrill. Not every great mountain demands ropes, years of training, or dangerous ascents. Across the world, there are peaks that welcome beginners, places where ordinary hikers can step into the extraordinary. Welcome to the beginner peaks, mountains you can actually climb. Mount Kilimanjaro, Tanzania. At nearly 5,895 meters, Kilimanjaro is Africa's highest mountain and, surprisingly, one of its most accessible. 8 different routes wind through rainforest, alpine desert, and finally to the frozen summit of Uhuru Peak. There's no technical climbing, just endurance, willpower, and time. Over 30,000 people attempt it every year, and many succeed, taking between 5 to 8 days to reach the top. Standing above the clouds, watching the sunrise spill across the African plains, you understand why Kilimanjaro changes people. Mount Fuji, Japan. It's impossible to miss Fuji's perfect cone, Japan's most iconic symbol and spiritual mountain. At 3,776 meters, it looks intimidating, but it's a climb that's within reach for almost anyone. The trails start high, cutting the total climb time to about 8 hours round trip for a fit hiker. Every summer, tens of thousands of climbers make the pilgrimage, hiking through the night to reach the summit before sunrise, when the land of the rising sun lives up to its name. Sandakphu, India-Nepal border. Sandakphu, at 3,636 meters, is where many climbers fall in love with the Himalayas for the first time. The trail winds through tiny tea villages and rhododendron forests, ending with a panorama that includes 4 of the 5 highest peaks on Earth: Everest, Lhotse, Makalu, and Kangchenjunga. You don't need ropes or crampons here, just curiosity and patience for a 5-day trek that rewards you with some of the most surreal views in Asia. Mount Baker, USA. In Washington State, Mount Baker rises 3,286 meters above the lush forests of the Pacific Northwest. It's not the tallest, but it's a training ground for aspiring mountaineers. Glaciers cloak its slopes, and the climb, while challenging, is achievable for beginners with basic snow skills. From the summit, you can see the shimmering ice fields of the Cascades stretching endlessly toward Canada. Breithorn, Switzerland. In the heart of the Alps, Breithorn offers one of the most beginner-friendly alpine climbs in Europe. A cable car from Zermatt carries you to 3,883 meters, leaving less than 300 meters to the top. From there, it's a steady snow climb across a glacier, guided by the sparkle of ice underfoot and the shadow of the Matterhorn nearby. In just a few hours, you're standing on a true alpine summit surrounded by some of the most dramatic peaks in Europe. Mount Hood, USA. Just outside Portland, Oregon, Mount Hood is a classic first climb for Americans testing their skills on snow and ice. At 3,426 meters, it looks fierce, but the south side route is manageable in half a day. It's where many future climbers learn to use crampons and ice axes safely. And as the sun rises over Oregon's forests, even seasoned mountaineers remember why they fell in love with climbing in the first place. Cotopaxi, Ecuador. Cotopaxi is one of the world's highest active volcanoes, 5,897 meters of raw Andean beauty. The climb isn't technical, but the altitude and shifting weather make it a real adventure. Over 3 to 4 days, beginners can reach the summit, passing through glaciers and surreal volcanic landscapes, where steam rises from the earth and condenses in the cold mountain air. It's a climb that feels like touching the sky. Jebel Toubkal, Morocco. At 4,167 meters, Jebel Toubkal is the highest peak in North Africa and one of the easiest to reach. Just a few hours from Marrakesh, the trail takes 1 to 2 days through rocky valleys and Berber villages. Climbers often begin before dawn, reaching the summit as the desert below glows in the morning sun. It's a reminder that great adventures don't need to be complicated, only embraced. Tofana di Rozes, Italy. In the Dolomites, The Tofana de Rozes rises 3,225 meters above Cortina d'Ampezzo. Here, climbers can try a via ferra, a route fitted with cables and ladders that allows beginners to experience vertical rock faces safely. It's not just a climb, it's a dance with the mountain. 4 hours of pure adrenaline and awe, ending with views of Italy's most spectacular peaks. Mount Brewster, New Zealand. Finally, in the Southern Alps, Mount Brewster stands at 2,516 meters. It's small compared to giants like Kilimanjaro or Fuji, but what it lacks in height, it makes up for in beauty. The trail winds through beech forests, past waterfalls, and up to Brewster Hut, perched high above Mount Aspiring National Park. Here, beginners discover what mountaineering is really about, not conquest, but connection with nature, with effort, with themselves. Every summit tells a story. Some whisper of adventure, others speak of endurance, humility, and wonder. But no matter where you begin, the mountains have a way of calling you back, higher, deeper, further. Because in the end, climbing isn't about reaching the top. It's about realizing how far you can go.